Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Right, Chris.
Oh, my, all right. John, Paul, George and Ringo, Lily Savage, John Bishop, Craig Charles, Les Dennis, Jimmy Tarbuck, Colleen Rooney. Your guys took one hell of a beating. And to that guy who emailed me to say he objected vehemently to me slagging off Liverpool the other night, not only did your tyres get nicked, mate, but the wheels came off your wagon as well. Oh no, Liverpool, what happened to you? I've tried practicing this. I just can't pull it off. So I'm going to leave it to the experts.
It's time for the smug face.
So we won. Whoa. I mean, Man City and Liverpool. I mean, it's just called being a Leicester fan, isn't it?
Yes! 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 Oh, God. Oh, I'll have what she's having.
Oh, wish I could play that more often. It's been a long time since I've heard that. As in the jingle. It's Leicester Till I Die TV. This is where you can watch us. And if you're listening to us or catch up on the podcast, thanks for listening. This is where you can listen to us too.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favorite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Let us know what your thoughts were on that game. I must admit, I've had a few beers. And I just literally, I can't believe it. I mean, it's like it's like Jesus came amongst us and said, "This is your Christmas miracle." I have a feeling it might have been. Was it? I think so.
It's the Premier League post-match show with Chris and Brad on Leicester Till I Die TV.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Thank you, Jesus. You brought us a miracle.
You're welcome, my child. God bless you all on this the day of the Liverpool fall down.
I mean, and I know going across the bottom, because I've just had to quickly update it. It does go, is this the best we could do with the players that we've got? I mean, it was, I don't know. I mean, no Tillemans, Ndidi in defence. We gave the obligatory penalty away. Obviously, if it's not Tillemans, it's Ndidi. They obviously Salah went and ballsed it up. Man City fans, you owe us. You owe us. Just sum up how. I mean, I can't say. I mean, it was good. I've had a few beers, but I was sat with a Liverpool fan. I mean, how much better does that get? It's the Christmas holidays. You got a few beers. You got your mate round. He's a Liverpool fan, and we beat them 1-0.
Honestly, mate, I said it to you before the stream started, didn't I? That's genuinely performance of the season by us. It was dogged. It was gritty. It was a thing of absolute beauty. It genuinely brought a tear of pride to my eye. At the end of that full-time whistle, I was welling up because I was so proud of every single one of them that either started or came on the pitch for that 90 minutes. It was brilliant.
It was. We'll just go through a few early comments here. Rennie, how the devil are you? Believe it or not, I think we're okay.
All right.
All right. Casper, man of the match for me. I mean, you said this before, didn't you, Brad? You know, you could have picked 11, 12 men of the match out there today. KDH, what a player he could become. He's well on the way. He's well on the way to it. KDH and Luke Thomas from Facebook user was absolutely amazing. Hope you're well. I am indeed. Don't know who that is because you've just come in as Facebook user. Stick your name on the end. I hope you are well as well. You are well. You are well as well, is what I'm trying to say. Rennie says hello to Brad.
Hello, Rennie. I'm very well.
Rennie, he's called Jesus today. He's performed a miracle for us. He's not, he's used to turning wine into water. We had a few, but he's performed a miracle. And Simon, Spurs fan. So glad what you've done tonight, and with half your team missing over as well, matey. Well done, guys. Thank you, Simon. A Spurs fan, you are always welcome. And we're going to see you on Friday as well. You're going to be up against this gentleman to my left, right, whichever way you're looking at it, in the Premier League quiz on Friday, the big fat quiz of the Premier League. David's just joined us. Good evening, David. How the devil are you? Wow, I have chills after that. How results were we at the back, my friend? I think you've mistyped that. I think you've had a few beers as well. Liverpool defence should get red cards on Vardy. I mean, we've ended up, nobody's got a broken leg. Nobody's got a broken nose. And we played Liverpool. That's going to be a bonus as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does after the Carabao Cup antics, to put it in a nice term. It was nice.
Yeah.
You know what was nice as well? How many times this season have we sat here and we've bemoaned soft penalty? All right, tonight wasn't a soft penalty. It was a dangler by Ndidi. It was a penalty, but how much have we bemoaned? Me saying here, a bit of luck could have got a different result. We didn't get the luck that we've been accustomed to. Well, today, we got a bit of luck. I mean, there's something right about our performance when Jurgen Klopp says we deserve to win.
I haven't seen, because obviously once the match finishes, I kicked my mate out and I came on here and did all the things. So I haven't seen it. That's what he said.
I was sat here watching it still on Amazon Prime, and I was sat here and I put my phone down, and they'd done Brendan and the Leicester players, so I knew the Liverpool lot coming up, and I was like, here we come, we're going to hear about tall grass, windy, too wet, the crowd was too noisy, what was his excuse? And he got asked the question, and him and Virgil van Dijk went, no, Leicester deserved it. They played really well. So, Christmas miracles all around.
Well, I mean, that's another miracle getting praised off Jurgen Klopp, isn't it?
Definitely is. Definitely.
I mean, it has been a bit silly because I'm saying within a week almost, we've had Liverpool away, Man City away, Liverpool home, Norwich at home. It is absolutely silly how many games we've got to play.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and another thing that was noted about our club on a whole is we're probably one of the few clubs that haven't really grumbled about it. It's been mentioned, we've got on with it, and we've done it. And it just says, I know we had 2 games postponed in the build-up list, but there's also another way to look at it. That's now 2 wins in our last 3 games, and we're going into Norwich trying to make that 3 wins out of 4. That's something we've not been saying too much this season, that Leicester are on a bit of potentially decent run of form going into the new year, which is nice as well.
Yeah, and we have got to do this. I had forgotten, but let's just
Leicester City FC on this day in history with Leicester Till I Die TV.
On this day, we fucking stuffed Liverpool. That's what we did. 1-0. Bring it on. Yeah, I don't care what we did in the past. We beat Liverpool today. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it, haven't you? Do you know,
you do.
Guys, if you're watching 9 o'clock tomorrow, we are doing the Liverpool opposition review with a Liverpool fan. You got to get on here, and it's like revenge. Oh yes, yeah. I mean, let me just bring this in and bear with me this, because this is a new thing I am trying to do here. I mean, going into this was the form going in. It didn't really fill you with confidence, did it? But that said, Brad. That said, I mean, we beat Newcastle 4-0. Man United luckily came away with a point.
Yeah. And again, I've always stood by the fact that you judge yourself over a very small fractional period. I mean, you look at the last 3 league games, you had Liverpool to this. Like I said, that's 6 points out of a possible 9. You know, and given the state of the Man City defensive performance and the resolute second half and everything in between in that game, you'd have been forgiven for thinking, well, if they're lucky, we might somehow get a high scoring draw and come away with what would have then been 4 points out of 9. But it just shows that we've seen signs. We talked about it around the Carabao Cup game. We saw a lot of positives, a lot more energy. They seem very energetic today, and you saw it again. The full-time whistle, the players hitting the deck. They showed they were exhausted. There was hugging, there was embracing. I think every man hugged every man on that pitch in a blue shirt today. It wasn't just a natural end to the game where they just sort of do that and walk off, and that they embraced every second of it. You could see the energy spent to get over the line and get the 3 points was just terrific. Like, to a man, it was an absolute credit.
I mean, do you think that, we said Man City, Liverpool and Norwich, they're our 3 Christmas games. I mean, hoping that we'll beat Norwich, but this is Leicester. I mean, if we beat Norwich, that's 4 points out of a possible 9. I think that's probably as good as it. Sorry, no, that would be 6 points. Sorry, forgetting we won tonight. We won, didn't we? That'd be 6 points out of a possible 9. That's not bad over a busy Christmas period.
No, and again, if you look at that over a slightly bigger breach, then make it 9 points out of 12. And I don't think there's many Leicester fans. If you just said in conclusion with the Newcastle game, if you just said Newcastle, Man City, Liverpool, Norwich, how many points are you expecting? You'd have probably said half of the points that are available and maybe 2 wins. And even then you'd have been fearful that maybe a rejuvenated Newcastle or Norwich under their new managers, it could be a difficult ask just to get that. But now we go into the Norwich game and it's not going to be as easy as we're hoping, but the confidence we gain from this and Norwich's performance at Crystal Palace, or lack of it, you could say you feel a lot more confident than we did when we played them at Carrow Road earlier in the season, that we can continue what has been and build on what has been a very dogged and determined performance.
Oh, bugger. Right. I was just going to show something then, and I've realised I've uploaded the wrong thing. No, let's just have a tour. Let's have a look at some more comments while we're just waiting. Liverpool defence should have got red cards. I think we said that. Back to back, 1 lost and 1 won. David says he meant to say how resolute were the back four with so many out. Young Thomas was immense at left back. He was. He had he kept Salah quiet, didn't he?
Oh, I think so. I think I've just got off the phone to an insider in their changing rooms, and apparently Luke Thomas fell over in the changing rooms taking his shorts off because Salah fell out of his back pocket.
Hey, bum. And the build-up was almost as good as the joke there. Rennie, good evening, Rennie again. KDH is similar to KDB. If he turns out to be half as good as KDB, I will be happy. David, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? I also think we need to remember Lookman looked great on his natural left flank. Interesting when Barnes is fit again. That's a good point because I've said, I don't want to get too excited about Lookman because we kind of did about under after a couple of performances and it didn't really sort of work out for him. But I think we should get excited. I think I certainly have no argument if we bought him at the end of the season. But he does look good on that left-hand side, doesn't he?
He looks good on the left. Look, he's looked good. He's looked fairly decent for every performance. And, when he's been noted to have a bad performance, it's not like he's been the only individual that played bad in that particular game.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier when they're not technically your player out and out to kind of poke a hole in their performance. That and the history of since Mahrez have not been able to replicate anywhere near that on his side of the field. We're very critical of who comes in there. But I've said it for a while, his positioning, his ability to know when's best to go outside, when to go inside, like he did notably for the goal, his link-up play at times was very smart. And you know what? For a guy of his stature, he was very, very nimble on his feet to keep the ball at his feet and find passes. Again, you could say the same about Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. You could say the same about Maddison, who hopefully went off on precaution and not on an injury. There's so many performances out there, and may I just note that Leicester kept 2 clean sheets, I've kept 3 clean sheets this season. Twice it has been Ndidi at centre back and Samori playing in front of him. I'm just saying, maybe Brendan's cracked it.
and when you look, did you think we'd be getting a clean sheet? One of them would be against Liverpool.
No, I'll be honest with you. No, I never thought if I was going to get a clean sheet this season that one of them would come against Liverpool. But yeah, I'm hoping I've got one of the predictions shows that I did over these 3 weeks that I've got Liverpool to have lost that game. I don't know if it was on this one, but
on ours, you were the only one that I wasn't going to mention it, but you were the only one that did actually go for a Leicester win. That's what it is. You see, I for the first time all season, I actually went for the draw because I thought I'd get some points, and typical. Liverpool fans crying now, says Rennie. The title isn't theirs; it's Man City's. A little bit early, I think, to be saying that, but you never know. Simon, what's Klopp excuses now? He was very salty against us. He's the sour grapes. But you said he was very supportive of us.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't overall come on leaps and bounds with his praises for Leicester. But when he was poked the question, do you think Leicester deserved the win, or was it less on you? Normally, I'm one that's very vocal about Klopp and my opinions of him. Normally, I was sat there half expecting him to go, they're very lucky, and so they were lucky, we deserved to win, and all that, like doesn't. Honestly, his first words were, they did deserve it. So he actually spoke kind words for us, which, again, is another miracle in its own right.
Kind words, but in a dodgy accent.
Yeah, this is good.
Don't give up the day job, mate. Don't give up the day job. JB, good evening. How are you? Feed the Scousers. Let them know it's Christmas time. Up the boys, absolutely buzzing. Jack Q agrees with David. Would like to see KDH and Lookman starting on that side against Norwich.
Yeah, they look phenomenal on that left side. And I've said it's something, going back to the point about Harvey Barnes when he's back, it's something I'd like to see more on that side. Is a bit less rigid, a bit more unobvious to read, for lack of a better way of putting it, because Lookman's goal, you could see when he got that link up and he scurried through and he got the ball and he got it to Dewsbury Hall. The run he made, the two midfielders they were expecting him to have done his job and sit in that midfield. The fact that he sprinted between them, they kind of went, oh crap, he's here, and that's what gave him that space and allowed him to get this shot away. And luckily it went in the back of the net, and of course all kinds of bedlam at the King Power, which was lovely to hear.
I mean, what do you think about Barnes on the right? And it's something that David says on here a lot. And in fairness to him, I've got to point out, because he's been screaming to put Lookman on the left and Barnes on the right.
Maybe he should. Maybe it should happen, because I feel that when we attack down the right, we find that we do stick out the width, which is where Barnes is at his best, and we like to switch it more to that side. So he'd have a bit more time on the ball. He could get past the wing back or the right back or left back or wherever be on that side. He'd probably find that he doesn't get squeezed out of games as much. And as we've seen from a very diverse performance from Lookman tonight, and I'm going to heap praise on him because he's one of my favourite players this season. I'm very keen to see him become a permanent Fox, hopefully in the future. But the fact that he was inside, outside, Liverpool struggled to pick him up. Him and Dewsbury Hall, who we're going to heap on praise a lot today. But, I think he offers a lot more on that left side, given a bit more freedom with Dewsbury Hall there as well, and Thomas. I think the three of them were pitch perfect in a sense for what we need in that attacking sense.
Yeah,
on a particular side of the field.
David says here, to a man, we threw everything we had at them. Defenders chased down Liverpool at every chance. Salah was basically kept quiet. David Gamble, hiya David. Not bad, Chris, with 9 players out. Not at all. And we're just saying, you've been saying about Lookman on the left and Barnes on the right there. Casper got his game back. You weren't so keen on him the other day, mate. You weren't so keen on him the other day. But great penalty save. I also thought Hamza played well, and he'll need to be kept once the players go to AFCON. He did. Again, I mean, it's hard to say a player that, possibly Tillemans when he came on, because he set such high standards, probably wasn't as good as he has been in the past. But, Hamza, and I've not been his favourite player. Tell us sort of about Hamza's game tonight.
You know what? He played a game and he did not look like a player that had been left out in the cold. You get that sense that maybe in Leicester teams and managers gone by, a player like a Hamza Chowdhury would get a cup game here and there, and you could tell that they're not really confident. They're not feeling up to the task. They get a bit jaded, a bit reckless, don't seem to fit in with a game plan. And we're talking about how we only just beat Shrewsbury Town in the cup or something like that. But you really didn't know that the guy hadn't put on a Leicester shirt and played in that midfield for a while, because he just looked like he'd swapped a piece out, taken a car part out and put a fresh one on, and it made no difference to how we went about our business. He was really good. Again, every player who either made the 90, played 60 minutes, came on, to a man, as many people are saying in the comments, and we've said it tonight already, I'll express it again, to a man, every man that stepped on that pitch gets a 10 for me. They were brilliant. You know what? Even Perez can get a 10 just for being there and staying on the bench. Vestergaard and that can get a 10 just for being on the bench. Hold on. So every time we let me give Perez a 10. So.
Let's. Mike Davies gone there for Dewsbury Hall as his man of the match. We'll catch up with some of the comments in a moment. Unfortunately, the way that I wanted to bring these in so that we could talk down the side, I realized I'd done it the wrong way. So I've had to sort of, while we're talking, go back to the old way of covering us up. Looking at that, it was, I mean, Marty, it's strange to say that we're going to miss him.
Yeah. If you'd have told any Leicester fans, not just myself, you're going to miss Daniel Amarty this season, you'd have probably got some strange looks and been told to stay off the alcohol. But no, again, he's come in, and we've always said this about Amarty when he's had flashes in the team, that he's always done a really sturdy job. And, you know, Craig likes to mention that he was infamously player of the tournament at the African Cup of Nations last time. He does like to bring up about him.
Yes.
But for a guy who's played across our entire back line, it seems to be that if you want to get the best out of Daniel Amarty at his world class and his class blessed tonight, pair him with Wilfred and Didi, because them two look like they've been playing centre back for 10 years.
Yes, they do. I mean, let's have a look at it. I mean, Dewsbury Hall, Samoy, Chowdhury. I mean, Inacho, I thought had a good game until he got taken off.
Yeah, he was resolute. He was very much aware of his job. I found it took a while to kind of figure him out, because I was thinking there was a few chances he let go. That was that one that went out for a throw in, and you thought maybe he could have run onto that and tried to play a ball through.
Yes. I agree totally with that one. I mean, that did look a bit like, because he was free. You know, if he'd scoot the ball up, he was free to go on.
But again, the way we did things in terms of clearing our lines at times, I think it wasn't like we did things erratically. We did things very game management. We looked at that clock. We knew what we had to do. We were still looking like, right, yeah, we're doing well, but there's still 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes to go. We still need to concentrate. And I think maybe he just kind of got so into the zone of making sure that if Liverpool have a throw in, it's in their half and not ours, that he didn't really think about the space or attacking. But yeah, he had a really good game. He was asked to do a lot more defensive work and not be quite up there with Vardy as he's probably accustomed to. So yeah, he did really well for the time he was on the pitch.
Is it just me? And tell me in the chat as well. But Brad, is it just me that if I'm at a match, I would sat there and have watched that, and I'd have, I'd have been wound up. But when I'm like that in front of the telly, and I couldn't watch it. And if I got a dog, I'd have taken him out for the last 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, but that's been the Leicester way since God knows when. There's probably people that have watched Leicester from the 60s that can tell you that not much has changed in the way Leicester like to go about nervy performances and wins, especially when it's a performance of that calibre against that kind of opposition as well. But I don't know. Yes, they had a penalty. Couldn't have been missed by a nicer man. And yes, Mane had that chance, but realistically, every ball they put in the box, and it was one thing that even their captain Van Dijk mentioned was, yeah, we put balls in the box, but it was, yes, there was a few moments where it dropped down and your heart was in your mouth thinking, oh God, we know what happens here. But realistically, more times than not, it was a blue shirt was on it, and you felt strangely comfortable at times, which was probably more nervous to kind of be sat there going, hold on, I'm actually feeling a bit relaxed about our defending. What's going on?
Yes. David says here, so glad we kept KDH in the house this season. Facebook user, the fans were amazing as well. I think they got a bit nervous.
Fed off that penalty, didn't they? The fans fed off that penalty, because let's be honest, they were nervous. You could tell the crowd was nervous after the Man City game.
I did send you a message though at the start. We were doing a little bit of the piddling about at the back once or twice and giving it away. Yeah,
we did that. And again, it's something I think is a little bit ingrained to do, and now we seem to be doing it at particular points. I think the idea in the first half, especially, was the best way for us to get any form of attack from Liverpool was to try and drag their front three towards the ball, squeeze that pass into a Dewsbury Hall or a Castagnet out on the right and go wrong. And it worked, but unfortunately they got a little bit tense at moments in that first half and put a stray pass away, which isn't ideal when you're only 22 yards away from your own goal. But they didn't do that a lot in the second half. They were very direct route. Again, like I said about that Iniacho, when he ran it out for, he took the throw in over the chance to maybe drive at Liverpool's defence. We played in a way to kind of go safety first. I'd rather Liverpool start again from 10 yards inside their own half so we can reshape than piss around with it, as you say, at the back, and then a wayward pass puts it out for a throw in.
I think piddle was the word I used, but I know what you mean. Rennie says here, is it time to bring Dennis Pratt back? Have we sold him, or is he on loan?
He's on loan. But
I think we've got an option to buy, haven't they?
Yes, I believe they were given the option to buy, but I see where he's coming. I see where Rene's coming from, but I think unfortunately, for whatever reason, Pratt is not one of them that's gonna ever get the game time he's wanting to feature properly for Leicester and for his own career. So maybe it's one we just have to kind of sadly say goodbye to.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. I would just like to. Scott's just come up there. Hello to everyone. Hello, Scott. I hope you're well. I hope you're happy. I hope this. I've got to try and find you now because I didn't realize I clicked on you. Where are you? You're there, Scott. And I just want to read this out because it's a few words at this time of year that I think sometimes it gets forgotten. I think the time of year does get forgotten. So I'll bring you back in a second, Brad, but I just want to take a few minutes and just say this because I think it needs to be said. But I just wanted to take a minute to say I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a happy year, and most of all, with everything that's going on, good health. These days, people don't spend much time or thought on some personal words to their friends and family, and they just copy and paste some random message and send it on. So after all we've been through together this year as fans, I want to thank you for your friendship and wish you a happy and fulfilling 2018. You're the best gymnastics group anyone could ask for. Best wishes, Helen.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Now, you either got that or you didn't, and I've got to be honest with you.
It took me a second, mate.
Doug actually sent me a message back, and he's made a comment, the Liverpool fan. He made a message back going, "Did you mean to send that to me?" And Maisie just replied and gone, "Thanks, Chris." I went, "It was a joke, Maisie, but let's catch up with the It made me titter. And that's all I'm bothered about. Here we go. David says, "Hey, did you both also notice how we had two men on the post on corners?" Yeah, I did, and it was actually mentioned, as I say, with my mate, and it was good to see. We've gone back to man marking. We've got rid of this zonal rubbish. Two players on the post at last.
Yeah, all answered, all prayers were answered in that were sent to me in written form. So tonight we went back to zonal marking. We went back to defending properly, and let's just hope that's all that's the start and the platform that's set forward for us continuing to defend corners better. Yeah. So yeah, it was nice to see.
It was. Doug, good evening. He is the aforementioned Liverpool fan that doesn't get the text I send him. Good evening to all Foxes fans in the chat. And Chris and Brad, thoroughly deserved win. And we didn't have our shooting boots on tonight. Casper, man of the match. Doug, I know I'm seeing you at 9 o'clock tomorrow for the opposition show, and believe it or not, I'm actually looking forward to that for some unknown reason.
Doug,
But if
can you let me know if I actually predicted the score for our game? I know we did 3 of them, Doug, but if you can remember through your archives of checking, did I actually give Leicester the win in our prediction show, mate?
you did in hours, though, Brad. You did in hours.
That's what matters, mate. That's
yeah.
what matters.
Doug, I've just put the link in the chat if you want to come on and just say how wonderful we were. Renee, Leicester are back. Fight back to 7th place. I don't think we're up to 7th yet. We can make 7th. I'm going to be honest with you. The way I look at it at the moment is the league table is so to cock because nobody's played the same number of games. So, we've gone back up to 9th. We were down to 11th with 25 points. We are, as you say, we're only 3 points off 7th, but we've played a game more than Man United at the moment. But we've played a game less than Chelsea, Arsenal, and West Ham. It's just, I don't know. Wait till we've all caught people up. Doug says again, Lookman's goal worthy of winning any game of football. I have no complaints tonight. You guys deserved it. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. A Liverpool fan eating a bit of humble pie. But no, in fairness, I mean, Lookman started that move off, carried on running to get the ball back, and found the space. I mean, it's going to be up there with goal of the season, isn't it?
I mean, it was one of the most. We're talking about defining. If you want to define a total team performance in one moment, it was that goal.
Yeah.
Dewsbury Hall was up on the pitch. He was waiting. Lookman won it back. They had the intricate 1-2. And then, what was even better about it? He took that shot just a split second early. And by doing that, I don't know if you know this, Chris. For anyone out there that may not know this, I'm a goalkeeper myself.
No way.
I know.
You kept that under your hat, didn't you?
Don't mention it. Don't mention it. But in all seriousness, the thing that he did with his body movement when he got into that box, Alisson was weighted. Alisson was weighted. He was committed to thinking Lookman was going to hit it across him. And when he stuck it in that near post, there was only one outcome. And it just dipped the back of the net. And it was a brilliant goal. It was definitely the team move goal. He's got to be up there for goal of the season contender for Leicester.
Yeah. Also, I should just say that I did put the link in the chat if you're on YouTube. It's only on YouTube for Doug. But if anybody else wants to come on for just a couple of minutes and say how happy they are and what have you, Terry, you don't have to come on and tell us about your dreams. I think we'd rather not know that. Thank you very much. I know what sort of dreams you have, but good evening, sir. I hope you are well. Jeff from the Philippines. Good evening, Jeff. Great team result. Early morning rise, well worth it. Now cooking our breakfast. Oh, you know what? I just fancy a full English now. Bacon and sausage and eggs. Yes, please. So we'll be in and out. Really. I'm moving on. Brad, only one who predicted the win. Yeah. All right. Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. Scott, good evening, sir. I'm still waiting. If you can let me know about Sunday, that would be great. Terry, well, that puts an end to the rumours that Rodgers has lost the dressing room. I think it puts an end to a lot of rumours. Hello to everyone in the chat, folks. Scott, I just did that one. Pika team, well, the Magpie rule works for Foxes too. Saw 2 last night outside my house. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. Up the Foxes. Definitely Pico, Tom. Doug's back. Hi, Scott. David thought he was poor giving the ball away. Not sure. You were catching up with the chat, I think. Facebook user, what a win with 9 players out and players with COVID. The spirit and the fight with the players we have were brilliant, and Schmeichel was outstanding today. I'm so very proud of my team tonight, even with the difficulties we have in recent games. Jeff, have Newcastle got their game postponed? They got more play. Yeah, their game is postponed tomorrow. It is indeed. Newcastle. Now that's the team that I think we beat 4-0, but yet Manchester United couldn't beat. Is that right?
Yeah, beating Newcastle's not for everybody.
No, it's not. No. The tactic was spot on and the formation was right. Scott, I thought we had got Wes Morgan back in his prime with performances from Ndidi and Amati in the centre back roles. David here, man-to-man marking, definitely. Renee, I really hope they play the same formation against Norwich. You know what? This is Brendan, and I wouldn't be too sure about that. VAR wasn't there in the game. It was used, but it didn't. It was a very well fought, the referee didn't really have to do much, did he? And Jeff, unable to watch game on the channel, still down after the typhoon, tuned into a watch along instead. Oh, I hope you're all right, Jeff, if you've had typhoons out there. I hope you are well. Let us know how it is going. Fingers crossed for you that all is well for you over there. Let's have a look. I mean, I know you don't like stats, Brad, but let's have a look at these, shall we? I'm just going to bring them up on a bigger screen for me because my eyes aren't what they used to be. It was a bit at the time like we were kind of Zulu again, wasn't it? They were coming at us, and that shows, I think, in the 21 goal attempts to our 6. But, they had 21, but only 19 were still on target, 17 of ours. I ignore the possession because, to be honest with you, the possession doesn't mean diddly squat. Passes and touches, they had more. Tackles, pretty even. Not many offsides. But, I mean, it was just a great all-round performance. And we know, don't we, that having possession means nothing. We won the title with hardly any possession.
Yeah, and a lot of them stats at the end of the day can mean nothing because they're all accounted for tiny little blocks, and it's what you see with your eyes that really realistically matters. Numbers on that are all a bit of a thing. The only fact that ever really matters is goals, and at the end of the day, the dogged performance, the brave blocks, the bodies on the line, the battening down the hatches. It wasn't an Ollie at the wheel job in the case of we stuck 20 men behind the ball and tried to creep out a 1-1 draw with Newcastle. No, we had a game plan. And if, that was that, funny enough, I'm just going to bring this fact that was brought up on Prime. I don't know if it was mentioned in the game or afterwards. You might have missed it. But that was Liverpool's first league game in 35 that they had gone without conceding. The last time they did that, and Adamona Luckman was playing for Fulham in a 1-0 defeat. 1-0 win for Fulham. So maybe that's just the way you have to beat a team like Liverpool and kill a clean sheet, because you just have to do that against these teams. It's not a bad way to do it if you do it right. And tonight we got it right.
Oh, didn't we just? We did kick it around a bit too much. We actually held it together. Lookman caused Liverpool all kinds of problems. Tonight, that was the turning point. Great sub, Rogers. Facebook, Almighty Amati. Scott, do you think now is the time that Lookman and Barnes are going to get swapped over on either side? We did touch on that earlier, didn't we? It was Pete Hines with that. Foot with Jeff. Foot with Griff. Sorry. I presume you're a Liverpool fan. Good win for you, but I'm still raging with the Sahar penalty and Mane chance. You should have killed it off. And why, the question is, why didn't you? You had the 21 chances. 19% were only on target. Maybe that's it. And at some point, you were just shooting from, wherever, to be honest with you. Scott says it. If it wasn't for the African Cup, then I think we found our new centre-back pairing for Fafana and Soyuncu. And Pico Tom, I'm actually astounded by the result with how weak the team has been, and for the boys to turn up and play class, such beautiful play. Jeff, all is well for us, but many have lost their lives and many houses destroyed. Recovery work started day after the typhoon. all the best, and our wishes go out to everybody
best, mate.
down there in the Philippines. And I hope, glad you're safe, Jeff, but our thoughts go out to everybody that has lost family and friends. And Terry says here, on that performance, Barnes and JJ got to work to get their places back from Hall and Thomas. It was a penalty, wasn't it, in fairness, but it was a good height for Gasper.
Yeah, trust me, we goalkeepers love anything that's about 2 foot off the ground and side-footed. We fancy our chances of saving it. Casper said in his interview he got a gut feeling. Sometimes you notice little things that you don't think you would as a striker hitting them, and you commit to it. And he's always been very good at them. I remember his save against Seville in the penalty. He likes to keep himself tight and clutch to try and keep the ball close to him. And, you know, a little bit of luck. It looped up in the air. Salah thought he'd get 2 points for it in the bar. And, how
did he miss that header? I mean, well,
I think the thing is, Salah knew that he had players breathing down his neck, so he couldn't afford to bring it down and smash it into an empty net because someone might have thrown the body in front of him and it could have gone worse. I think he just knew he had to get something on it, and he didn't have because Casper got such a high on his save that it looped up to him, that he was never going to be able just to power a header into an empty net. So it was really good.
And as we talk about Salah missing a penalty, we welcome Doug, the Liverpool fan, who's looked like he's been. Well, you are obviously outside. You didn't go to the match, did you?
No, I've been actually working. I actually managed to catch some of the game. My 2 30-minute breaks I had, so I managed to catch most of the game. You guys deserved it. You thoroughly deserved it. We haven't had our shooting boots on tonight. You defended to a man as well, and I'm looking forward to analysing with you in more detail tomorrow.
Brilliant. And do you think? I mean, it was a completely different team, well, almost a completely team that you put out against us the other night. Mm-hmm. Are you surprised that wasn't the one you lost? Which, I mean, you were losing on that one, and I was surprised how you were coming at us, but your shots, we just said then, your shots were all over the place.
Well, Henderson had a couple of chances, like the ballooned over the bar. I think he was trying to get like a worldie in the net as well. But no, I thought you, like, man for man on corners, I thought that was a very, very good idea as well. But as you see, we never really threatened, apart from obviously the Salah penalty and obviously the Manny chance, which 99 times out of 100 he probably scores that. So, when it's not your night, you just have to give credit to the opposition, and I thought you deserved to win tonight.
That's very decent of you to say so. And it's funny, isn't it, how we're so fickle as football fans. And, I've gone from hating Liverpool the other week to actually going, like, yeah, you're not so bad tonight. Don't know if, Brad, have you got a quick question for Doug before he goes?
Yeah, mate. I want to know, did I stick to my guns on our prediction show that we did? Because we did a mammoth prediction show, and I feel like I might have gained some dignity back if I went with my team on that one.
Yes, you went 3-1 Leicester.
Oh, let me go. I'll take that as something, mate. Thanks for that.
Obviously, me going for the draw, that's the reverse psychology. Maybe I should do that again moving forward. The one week, none of the ex-players and myself predicted a Leicester win. They go and win. So that's obviously the way forward. Doug, I'll let you get home, mate. Thanks so much for popping on and being as kind as you have been. And we'll have a proper chat tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night.
Take care, mate. All the best. Bye-bye. Cheers, bye. Thanks for coming on there. It's funny. Football is funny, isn't it? We go from down and out, and we do have to accept it's going to be one of those seasons.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you look at the teams that have been in and around Leicester, in and around the whole table. It's a really strange. As I think the word we're actually looking for is something we've not seen for many a year in the Premiership, is it's all-round competitiveness. I mean, even at the bottom, I mean, if you was telling me in December you'd have 3 teams on, 2 teams on 11 points and 1 team on 10, but there'd still only be 2 to 3 points off safety, I'd have laughed at you thinking that was possible in December. Then you look at Leicester, they went from, I think they started the week in 9th, they dropped down to 11th, and now they're back up to 8th or 9th, and now we're talking again, they're 3 points off 7th, and it just shows. I mean, Man United are on a good form, and we're not too far off them after they drop points against Newcastle. It just shows how competitive the entirety of the Premier League is, and it's refreshing for the league itself and for us as fans, because we could kind of come to this period, and you're looking at maybe saying the top 6 might change their order, but you're not going to see anyone break it up. Whereas now we're looking at it going, it could be a number of clubs that still get it going into the new year.
And I can see as well that, you know, at the end of the season, it won't be the end of the season, because, you know, we'll have played all our games, and other teams around us have probably still got 2 or 3 to catch up on. So it is good. But I know you can't do your board tonight, but what did Leicester do right tonight that we've been doing wrong in the past?
Well, what they did tonight, which unfortunately I wasn't able to bring my tactical board with me, was they actually did a resolute defensive job where they had they decided to approach it with like a back line of 4 and a defensive structural line of 4 sat in front of them. So what that allowed the likes of Dewsbury Hall and Samore to cover the gaps and press either side of it. And what that meant is, whilst Luke Thomas could go and absolutely put Mo Salah in his back pocket, Dewsbury Hall could then come across and he was like the danger reader. So you had the initial danger handled by one player, and then that back line just behind them was intercepting any potential danger that they had. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold, England's best right back, just got scored by England's best left back tonight because he was superb in what he handled. And again, it helped that it was almost like Brendan had paired them up. You know, Samore, you'll cover in front of Ndidi. Maddison, you'll go in front of, you know, Amati. Castagna, you'll get supported by whoever's out on the right at that time. You know, and it just worked all the way through the whole game. It was like a pair-up job of all the way up from start to finish, and that's where it was. It was slightly angled as well. It would depending on what side they attacked. It wasn't a very rigid, straight defensive line. It was an angled one, so that when Liverpool tried to attack down the right, for instance, our defence was in the box. We were actually slightly more in between the 6-yard box and the edge of our box, further across the box, expecting the deep cross, so we had more numbers in the box. You know, and I think that really helped. And one thing that Liverpool have always been good for is they like to get tight to a defensive line so they can turn them. We saw that with the Mane chance. And again, for a centre-back pairing, the only mistake they made, thankfully, didn't cost us anything tonight. But it was literally the only blot on a perfect thing. And that was another key thing. Leicester didn't leave too much gap to entice a long-range shot, but they put just enough pressure on to maybe keep these players second guessing of what to do, because like, well, I can't turn him because he's too far away, but I can't shoot because he's too close to me. So it was just, in a way, like we're going to see from Alan's ratings, it was almost an inch perfect performance in everything they did defensively.
Mella, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Hey,
You're a Watford fan. Mella, I don't know if you're on Twitter. If you are, give me a follow at Leicester TID. We've got yourselves coming up in the Cup in a couple of weeks' time. Would love to have you on doing the opposition show. Message me on at Leicester TID. I'm going to just stick it in the chat here for you. And then message me, and then it would be great to have you on to have a chat about that. Do we feel your pain? Yes. I mean, 4-1 loss to West Ham. I've got to be honest with you, mate. You were better under your last manager because you weren't in the shite that you are now. And I did question, as much as I love Ranieri, I questioned at the time, and Barrow backed me up here, whether he was the man for a relegation fight, which everybody thought you were going to be in. You're now 17th having played 17 with 13 points. Okay, Newcastle and Norwich have played 2 more games than you, but Burnley have played 2 less games than you. And Burnley, the experts, if anybody's going to jump out of that bottom 3, and of course you got Newcastle with the money in January, I would be very worried, mate. Very worried if I was you. But do message me, and then, like I say, would love to get you on. Scott, as good as tonight was, not looking forward to January. I don't know if you mean the games, because the games aren't too bad, to be honest with you. We've got Norwich, obviously, should be, and I say should be in the operative word, not too bad. Watford, then, of course, in the FA Cup, and it's a cup, anything can happen. And then Burnley and Brighton. So matches-wise, but if you're referring to players we might lose, I don't think there's going to be I don't think there'll be any outgoing. Possibly Mendy. Chowdhury tonight proved that he could be a really good, and probably has leapfrogged Mendy for that position. But we've got so many players injured, and we know nobody's going to buy an injured player, really. I don't think we've got too much to worry about, have we, Brad?
No, I think in a weird sort of way, we're probably fortunate that by the time we lose certain players to the African Cup of Nations, that we're going to have players back, notably Soyuncu and Daka are 2, for that. We've got Samore is showing he can do that role. Obviously, it has been discussed over the season, but obviously, clearly Samore or indeed he can play that role, not both together. So we're not too fearful as better in the nicest way possible to Samore than indeed he is. It's nice to know we've got a Chowdhury, we've got a Samore, we can play there. We obviously need our defense. It all just depends on the returning of players, doesn't it? Because it does become a cup match. Maybe we see McAteer, maybe we see Fonte Campbell, maybe we see Perez. These fringe players. Maybe we see more of Albrighton, the cup. We've completed the FA Cup now, so no. But all kidding aside, the goal now is to make the most of these players while they're here, in terms of before they go away for their country, get the result, keep the momentum, keep the mentality strong, and then in a way, before you know it, they're back. And if you can get through that run of fixtures on a positive note, you hardly know you missed them.
Yes.
I think Vardy was carrying a knock, to be honest with you, for that last 15 minutes. So I'm not going to say too much. I think he even dealt with an injury after the Carabao Cup game. So,
and of course Maddison as well. But I think that was probably taken off more as a precaution than and rest it rather than make it worse. Sorry, Scott. I realised when Brad started talking then that it was the Africa Cup of Nations that you were on about. But I think Brad answered your questions there. Looking at, and you've seen the man of the match and player ratings and what have you. There you go. Dewsbury Hall second. In fairness to Alan, that's the second match running that he's given Dewsbury Hall the man of the match. He got it against Man City. He got it against Liverpool last time. Sorry, the second, not forgetting the Man City game. The second time against Liverpool, he's got that. 10 for the team, 10 for the manager. I can't argue with that.
No, you can't. In fact, you couldn't even argue. It's like we said, mate. We're getting quite good at this whole making our own from within, aren't we? We're not too shabby at developing our own and then becoming great prospects for our
I'm
own
making
club.
a bit of money on when we sell them on.
Yeah, definitely. We're not doing too bad on that front. But no, again, you're literally probably going through everybody's performance thinking who did more standout moments, because they all had their moments, didn't they? headers, defensive blocks, penalty saves, one-handed saves from Casper, Thomas getting forward, the link-up play from Dewsbury Hall, the Lukeman goal. The list of praise for everybody's performances, we could have done a whole show on that.
I mean,
on its
I'm
own.
just looking at the BBC here, as you know, straight after they do a vote and people can go on and Liverpool fans vote for Liverpool ratings and Leicester fans for Leicester. And their highest was 5.58 to Miscus. And our lowest got better than that. I didn't think they were that bad, to be honest with you. But I mean, they've given it to Schmeichel, which is what the commentator did. Dewsbury Hall second, Luckman third, Thomas fourth, and at the bottom, Chowdhury, Samore, and Inacho.
Yeah, I mean, them sort of ratings, you always have to be done on we'll take it with a pinch of salt sometimes. So we've seen some very strange number ones, haven't we, before? I think that's more when.
And if you've had too much turkey, we've seen some very odd number twos as well.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, again, it sounds ridiculous, but if you just said to me, not Dackett, if you said to me Lukeman was man of the match, or Ndidi was man of the match, or Amati or Casper was man of the match, I wouldn't have argued with you. And the fact that we've got two contrasting man of the matches, and probably everybody here's going, yeah, fair enough, he deserved it. It just showed how good a performance it was. Yeah, it was a team performance. That was the biggest acclaim you could have to it, wasn't it? It wasn't like other results where we're maybe only picking out 3 or 4 standout performances. We're talking about a good, solid 11 to 14 performances.
Yeah.
And Albrighton rolled back the years, didn't he? Didn't Albrighton roll back the years with some of his passing?
Didn't he? I know. Overall, amazing performance from every player wearing a blue shirt tonight. Penalty side, every player put their body on the line, and more of this type of performance. Indeed. I'm going to let you go because it's a late one and we've just done the hour. If you can stay on, I've got a question for you. If you can stay on just a few seconds afterwards. And we are back tomorrow with Norwich preview show at 7 o'clock and having a chat with a Liverpool fan at 9. I am really looking forward to that. But it's the big one on for Thursday night. It is. It really, really is. The big fat Premier League football quiz. We've got a Leicester fan. We've got a Burnley fan. We've got a Spurs fan. And hopefully we may well have a Manchester United fan. I'm waiting to hear on that. So no pressure, Brad, but it's all going to be on your shoulders to defend the good name of Leicester City.
Well, it's all right. I'm against the Spurs and we know what they're doing final, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, they beat us that time. Brad, thanks very much, mate. And I will see you on Thursday night at 7.
Yeah, I shall see you then. And that was a great win. Enjoyed that.
It was. Come on, Leicester. Come on. The wheels are back on ours and the tyres have got nicked off Liverpool's. What a shame. See you soon, Brad. Thanks very much.
See you soon, mate.
Cheers. Thanks so much to Brad there, and thanks to everybody that's been in the chat. It's always great to have to be talking about a win. I mean, and I got annoyed after the Liverpool one loss, but it was the way that they broke Pereira's leg for a start. But Manchester City, sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and go, you know what, they were better than us, and. Tonight, we were better than Liverpool. It just feels so good. It really does. And guess what? It's nearly New Year.
Hi, this is Chris from Leicester Till I Die. Thank you for watching and listening. Happy New Year.
It is, and like I say, 7 o'clock tomorrow, Leicester Norwich preview, 9 o'clock tomorrow, Liverpool opposition review. We're going to really enjoy that. 7 o'clock on Thursday, the big fat football quiz. Friday, we've got something special coming up. You've got to stay in tune on that, as I've got to put it together. Thanks to everybody in the chat. It's been great. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your thoughts. Please, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it helps me out in running the channel so much that if you can subscribe, it's better. You don't have to click the notifications if you don't want to, then you're not inundated. And also, if you can smash the likes for this video, that would be brilliant. But mainly, please subscribe and show your support for Leicester Till I Die. I think we've just got time for one more of these.
It's time for the smug face.
He does it so well. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're listening on the podcast, thanks for listening and tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7. Come on, Leicester.
That's all, folks.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.